Well, that was a week of hockey. Hasso Plattner said some shit. It's going to be a good night. It's the Pucknologists on Tealtown USA. But of course, if you want to be part of the show, hit us up on all the social media platforms. If you want to bump to the front of the line, hit us up in the super chat, in the chat. You can also like and subscribe and do all that YouTube stuff that you're supposed to do. If you haven't done already, I don't know what the hell's going on. Just do it. It's easy. It's me. It's AJ. It's your live on. Do say it. Say the thing. Say the thing, AJ. The live interactive.
Live interactive, whatever we do here on Sundays. That's
uncensored, unedited.
Yeah, all of those things.
All of those things.
Absolutely.
Motherfucker. All right.
Them too.
Them too. The Sharks played 2 games this week, and they lost them both in overtime.
Sure. And
yeah.
Why wouldn't you at this point of the year?
So far, so good. This is exactly the way they drew it up, I'm sure. First game against the Vegas Golden Knights, they were actually doing well. They were up. I think 3-1 at one point.
I believe so.
And then it all fell apart. You got goals from fucking Jeff Skinner.
I don't think you're the first person to make that mistake, to be honest.
It's just the guy I always have in my mind. Alex Wenberg, not Mikhail Wenberg, as I like to say repeatedly for no fucking reason, and Kurashev, who I don't remember his first name off the top of my head here. You got assists from Tidal Andrew, and Muka Medulin had 2, which is good enough to get scratched the next game. William Eklund, John Klingberg, and Dmitry Orlov. Thoughts on this game?
Well, it's great until those last 90 seconds, I thought. I mean, both of the games, it was just very much a case of, hey, the Sharks are... This is why because I know you kind of gave me the horse side last week when we were doing the preview going, you think the Sharks are going to finish where? And I was like, no, I'm kind of up on I'm bullish. I'm optimistic, which... If you've watched the Pucknologists for any amount of time, usually I am, I don't want to say the cynic, but definitely a realist. And I was very much like, oh, no, they're going to suck. And it's probably going to suck even more for how much I think it's going to suck. But this time coming in from last week, I was like, no, I have faith. I think they're going to do well. And you know what? I was very much proven right up until the final minute and a half of both games. Who knew Hurdle turned into a douchebag in Vegas? I guess. I don't know. Dude, the one thing I will say, though, giving Ned the start, Nedeljevic giving him the start, because there are a lot of people that went, what? You're giving him the start on opening, the first game preseason. And I was very much kind of like that. It would have negated everything that Warsawski had espoused about earn it.
Yes.
If they had given it to Askarov. So I was very much fuck yeah, Nedeljevic. And up until about 6 minutes left in that game. He was posting like a 914. Like he was right up there. And then for whatever reason, the wheels came off and you sit there and go, okay, so when, how fast can the Sharks trade Orlov and Klingberg?
Right.
How quickly can we get Cagnoni up here? I don't know, but I mean, dude, I was insanely happy with the way that it began. 2 games so far. They scored first both times, which to me, I'm like, yes, very helpful. But just like last season, sadly to say, and hopefully it doesn't last much longer, they just cannot figure out how to hold the lead in the third period.
Yeah, I mean, I got the clip, the Nedeljkovic clip here, so I'm gonna just throw
Which
it up on
one?
the screen. It's actually a combination of the two.
There you go.
So let's show this up for people that haven't seen this. Right, obviously, go throw this up. Um, I mean, this is just bad.
Ridiculous bounce.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, dude, that's some Owen Nolan on Roman Turek shit right there. Just
yep,
a stupid bounce. What are you going to do? And then Ned, let's be honest, in overtime, he gripped the stick too hard. He's like, okay, should I go this way? Should I? Like, he overthought it so much, held up for a second, but when he literally should have just went full bore off the glass, up that way, boom. That's what he should have done. But instead, he overthought it, and 5 seconds later, it's behind him.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a pretty brutal way to lose a hockey game. Obviously, first the one goal, and then like the one goal that tied it up. Obviously, is pretty bad. But then the game winner on top of that is just kind of insult to injury at that point, because it really was a good game. Like I'm
It
with
was.
you. You know, we were watching that game, and I thought it was, you know, the Sharks looked really good, and you're like, okay, maybe this year is going to be different. Until it wasn't. Until it wasn't.
Oh, dude, I'm excited to watch a team go 0-0 and 82.
Yes.
So excited for that.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
Yes, I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. I'm here for the chaos at this point. Post game quotes. Jeff Skinner spoke up for Nedeljkovic. He played great. What can you say? He's been around long enough. He handles the puck better than almost any other goalie in the league, I would say. That's a treat as a player to play with a guy that handles the puck that well. Crazy bounce on the tying goal. And again, it's a 2-on-0. And if he doesn't come out, it's a 2-on-0 if he doesn't come out there in OT, which, yeah, he's not wrong. Like either he waits in his net and lets them, pass and see if they can get him moving laterally, which I don't think is Nedeljkovic's strong suit, or he comes out and tries to make a play. I mean, fucked if you do, fucked if you don't in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I like to take chances and try to Springer guys on 2-0. This is Nedeljkovic saying this. On 2-0, we try to win the game in overtime. He's going to be probably not feeling great, but I think he's old enough. He's been around long enough. He's confident in his abilities, and we're confident with him too. And I think overall, like I thought up until that point, like he played a really solid game. And going into the season, I didn't think that Nedeljkovic was going to be the guy who was going to be giving us the solid goaltending to start up until the end. I mean, look at, again, not good. I'm not going to try and I don't justify it. I don't think it's like, oh, this is fine because of what, I can understand what he was trying to do. It doesn't make it okay.
I mean, let's be honest. Georgiev left a very low bar.
Correct.
Here in San Jose.
Yes.
Look, Ned, he fucked up. He hesitated instead of committing. It's going to happen. Hopefully, that's the last time we see that happen this season. But he took his shot. I still go back to the fact that it's that silly, floopy Eichel bounce that went in.
Yeah.
I just go, ugh, are you kidding me? But again, to Warsofsky's credit, the fact that they started the season with Ned in net, I was very impressed by that. I did not think that was going to happen. So, and I thought Ned, like to your point, what you're saying, up until the last 90 seconds, I was like, Ned earned it, and he's continuing to do so.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to start the next game. I'm assuming he starts the next game, and as well he should. I think it's going to be. They're not going to give not just going to give the net task Askarov, he's going to have to take it, and I think that's fine. That's the way it should be.
If the Sharks end up winning that game against the Knights 3-1, 3-2, I'm giving Ned the net 2 days later.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and I said as much on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then, of course, after the game ended up being what it was, all of a sudden I got people say, oh, you jinxed them, AJ, because I have that kind of power.
I have that kind of power.
Yeah, I am that, I can see the sparks coming off my fingers all the power I have to control. In fact, the last 3 years, the reason why the Sharks have not been very good, all me, baby. All me. In fact, you can just start thanking me now for having McKenna next June.
There you go. I want the San Jose Sharks to go to the podium with the first overall selection in the 2026 draft.
Sure.
Gavin McKenna. Thank you, AJ.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, look, I think it's fine. I think if Ned starts the next game, I'm fine with it. Like I think that you play one of these guys until they go on a rip, and then you let the one guy who's on a rip play until they're not, and then the other guy gets to go. Like there's just no,
because it's Tuesday and then like Friday, Saturday, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. I put Ned back in there.
Yeah. So, and then we would yesterday, we had this was a game.
Just if you had told me that, like, hey, in 2 games the Sharks are going to score 9 goals, I would have been like, oh well, cool. They had to have won at least one of them.
You're right. Unfortunately, that is not the case. The Sharks drop another decision in overtime in a 7-6 loss to the Anaheim Ducks. Sam Dickinson would draw in for his first game against the Ducks, obviously.
But who did he go in for?
Shakir Mukhamadullin comes out.
Really? Couldn't have been Klingberg, huh?
No.
Or, okay. Fine. Whatever.
And obviously, Askarov, as we stated, got the start over Nedeljkovic. That was the change. Michael Misa still hasn't played yet. We'll get to that at some point. Goals from Toffoli, Ryan Reeves, Mario Ferraro, John Klingberg, Adam Gaudette, and Jeff Skinner. I keep wanting to say Stuart Skinner.
I was going to say Stewie.
Stewie got a goal.
So, he's
the best. He is the goal scoringest goalie in the entire league.
Dude, Skinner's nickname on the Sharks is going to be Stewie.
Yes.
Like we're all going to say it like Brian or Peter. Hello, Stewie.
The assists. Will Smith had 3 assists. Macklin Celebrini had 3 assists. Leddy had an assist. Orlov had 2 assists. Ty Dellandrea, Wenberg, and Gaudette also had assists in this game. Yaroslav Askarov making 36 saves on 43 shots, for a .837 save percentage. This game was all over the fucking place.
But I will say the shocker for me over 2 games is Ty Dellandrea. Because I was very much like he was going to take, if anybody has watched the Pucknologists for any amount of time, everybody knows I enjoy putting somebody on the podium of the dog I'm going to kick. And Brendan Dillon has been that dog that I've kicked. Erik Karlsson has been the dog that I've absolutely beaten the shit out of. And this year,
animal cruelty at this point.
Yes. This year, I was kind of like, wow, God damn it, it's going to be somewhere between Goodrow and Dellandrea, as it kind of was last season. And I thought I was going to lean Dellandrea this season. And you know what? Through 2 games, Dellandrea has very much played in a way that said, no, AJ ain't going to say shit about me. It's all on Goody. Fuck that guy. So I have been relatively impressed so far with Dellandrea's game. I think he had a point in both games. Is that right? Yeah, had assists in both games. So like now then again, Klingberg had points in both games, so you can't read too much into that. But
right,
just the fact that Dellandrea did that, I'm just kind of, who didn't have points in either game? Fucking Barclay Goodrow.
That's true.
So there you go.
I mean, there's so many places to go, right? Like, I mean, obviously the shots, the Anaheim Ducks generally carried the play. Like they outpossessed the Sharks for large portions of this game.
It kind of went back and forth. And Dalton, we'll get to your question in a little bit. Yeah, I think it went back and forth. But the fact when the Sharks scored that first goal and opened it up, and then they got up 2-0, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I was just kind of like, okay, I need to fucking rewind the Pucknologists from last week when Ian was like, "Oh no, the Anaheim Ducks are going to do way better in the Sharks," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna mess with Ian, and and blah blah blah," and then the game ended up as it did, and I'm like, "Motherfucker," because I felt very vindicated in my optimism from last week, where I'm like, "No, I think they could finish better than the Ducks."
Yeah, I don't know.
Until that fucking final 76 seconds, they would have.
Yeah, I think the thing is though with the Sharks is they're going to get a steady diet of backup goalies, which Peter Mrazek definitely is. And I don't.
I was waiting for the Joe Thornton chalk outline behind the net. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think the reason, I really like Lucas Dostal. I think he's the real deal, and I think that's going to be a big part of the reason why they are going to be good this year. And he didn't play it, and Peter Mrazek was terrible.
Yeah, he wasn't good. I mean, show me the last guy who let in 6, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I felt okay with that game."
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
No,
he was pretty ass that game, to be honest.
Literally, dude, the Sharks are just kind of like, you get a goal, everybody gets a goal, and it would have been, I think, a little more impressive if halfway through the game Smith had a hat trick, but it was the fact that it was like, dude, when Reeves got the second goal and then Ferraro got the third one, I went, oh shit, it's one of these games.
Yeah. I thought but I mean there was definitely bright spots here. I thought Will Smith and Celebrini were good. I know Celebrini turned over the puck in overtime, and we'll look at that in a second. But that
had 3
pass
apples
from Will Smith to Ferraro's goal.
Oh yeah,
in front of the net, just awesome. The defense obviously was a tire fire though, and it took way too long for them to be like, maybe we should change this up a little bit.
Well, that's the thing for me is 2 games into the season, and the first thing I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, fuck, we did this how many times last year?
Right.
God damn, really? Again, learn how to win. And I feel like the Sharks need to, whatever they need to do, I think a lot of their practice needs to be, okay, guys, here's the sitch. 5 minutes left. We have a goal lead.
Right.
There you go. Practice that. Keep the fucking lead. Because we saw that so many times last season.
What did you think of Sam Dickinson's game in 12 minutes?
Well, now to be fair, I got to say that in comparison to Leddy and Klingberg and everything, I was like, goddamn right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was like, can we get Polkamp here already? Can Cagnoni come up? And dude, I cannot wait for that whole thing to switch. But to me, I'm kind of wondering if Dickinson is going to be kind of the defensive version of Will Smith from last year, where it takes him half a season to kind of find his groove. And then after that, ka-ching. That's what I'm hoping for.
Long. That's the other question.
That too. It's like, oh man, okay, so you got 8 more, buddy. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought he was good. I mean, you know who else kind of impressed me this game?
Michael Mesa?
No,
okay.
A guy who I gave a lot of grief to last year, but I kind of liked his game a little bit better this year is actually Timothy Liljegren. I feel like he's again, I know people would be like, oh, he doesn't have to be like Desharnais cutting, and I don't want him to go cut people's heads off, but you have to sometimes make contact when you're playing defense. And I find he's more willing to make contact with other players and not just stick check them and be like, well, I missed. I guess you're going around me.
Well, and I've enjoyed Skinner so far.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? When the Sharks signed Jeff Skinner, I was like, great, I'm supposed to be excited about this, and I'm an idiot. I don't know why. I mean, I guess you look at a situation, right, where it was like he wasn't getting into playoff games in Edmonton, and I'm just like, oh, this is supposed to excite me. But yeah, he's been really good so far, and I do kind of feel bad that it was kind of just such a sourpuss about that signing.
I've enjoyed Skinner so far. You know, the guy who I've been kind of a little kind of meh on after 2 games, and I hate to say it because it's like, fuck, dude, don't tell me that like you got the bag and so now you're just kind of but William Eklund, like, there's been parts of his game where I'm just like, that's what we're looking for. And then I've seen a couple other parts of his game and I was just like, ooh, he was better at that last year. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know. I like that. I like the line he's on. So
yeah. But again, it's one of those things where, like I was saying with a couple of these other guys, it's like, it's only 2 regular seasons games.
Right.
Let's talk about these lines 14, 15 games in.
Yeah. So some post-game quotes from this game. Don't let in 7 goals. That is the key thing, from John Klingberg, who says, with the biggest stones on the planet. I know I said this yesterday on the show, but I have to repeat it. Like, imagine having the stones to be like, yeah, we just can't let in 7 goals. When you were
6, not a problem. 7,
right?
There we run into issues.
Given that he was directly responsible for a lot of those goals. So the Stones thing would be like, yeah, we just can't let in those goals. Like, yeah.
Well, dude, and then the fact that like Thompson got sent down today, I was just like, I shouldn't even say sent down, put on waivers. And so I'm like, oh, fuck, please, nobody take him. But goddamn, like, to me, when it comes to, so who was it that who came or who went out for Dickinson?
Mukhamadullin.
See, why?
Because Sharks.
So the game on Tuesday against Carolina, that one I want to sit there. If we're going to Ryan Warsofsky, if we are literally going to earn it, Klingberg needs to be watching that fucking game from the press box, and you get both Mook and Dickey in there, and yeah.
The problem with Mook and Dickey is they're both left shots, whereas Klingberg's right.
I don't.
I know. I'm just saying this is, but this, this
is the difference. Does it feel good here this way? I don't care. Get out of here.
Yeah, like, it's not good.
No, I can't wait for Hockey Jerk to gift that later, but it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Obviously, I'm gonna just say, so obviously the players that made the team out of camp, I'm just gonna list them off here really quick, and we can be mad about some of the players that aren't here. So obviously it's Macklin Celebrini, Ty Dellandrea, William Eklund, Adam Gaudette, Barclay Goodrow, Colin Graff, Philip Kurashev, Michael Misa, Ryan Reeves, Jeff Skinner, Will Smith, Tyler Toffoli, and Alex Wenberg are the forwards. Vinny Desharnais, Sam Dickinson, Mario Ferraro, John Klingberg, Nick Leddy, Timothy Liljegren, Shakir Mukhamadullin, and Dmitry Orlov are your defensemen. Yaroslav Askarov and Alex Nedeljkovic are your goalies, where there is obviously never going to be a question. That was always what it was going to be. And starting on IR was Afanasiev, Lucas Carlson, and Jack Thompson, who came off the IR today. They were sent on waivers, as you alluded to earlier. So they are going to clear waivers. They are on their way to the Barracuda.
We hope they're clear.
We hope they clear waivers and they go to the Barracuda. Jack Thompson's going to be an interesting one, because I think that there's some teams out there that might look at him. Like, if I'm the Buffalo Sabres, who are really don't have a lot of right shot guys, like, I probably take a good hard look at Jack Thompson going through.
Well, because what's he making?
Nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Whoever is first of the line, are you saying it's Buffalo right now is first on the line?
Yeah.
I don't know how Buffalo going to Buffalo. So who's second in line? You know what I mean? Like the Sabres will figure out a way to fuck that up. So they won't do it. Somebody else will, slide in second and be like, thank you very much, San Jose. And they'll take Thompson. I don't know how many times I had good things to say about Thompson last season. To me, it was like, oh, this is the 5'6", 6'7" guy that you want. Like, it was very much
right.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is the 6'7" defenseman you want. And I would love to see the Sharks go with that. God, do I hope he clears. I don't know that he's going to, but
to me too, Vinny Desharnais should have been the guy going down.
Yep.
If you're going to send down a right shot D, just send down Darren A. Like if you lose, if you lose, I know he's a big guy and he likes to hit, and I know the Sharks put a super value on that. Those two attributes, big and can hit. But like to me, like that's the guy you risk losing to waivers.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that Sharks, just letting you know, I don't know if you're aware of this, you have a lot of players. You have a lot. So if, like pick and choose your spots. The thing I want to ask you after reading down those, you think Kurashev is on the top line next game? Because if he is, I'm going to have an issue with that.
He's going to be on. He's one of those guys where he has to be in the top two lines to be useful.
Fuck. See, I want the milk and cookies line. I get what you're trying to do. Wenberg, Toffoli, Eklund, blah blah blah. No, I want to see Smitty and Celebrini out there with Uncle Toff to start shit off. And if
eventually
Wenberg, Eklund, and somebody else, but so far Kurashev, I've been less. In fact, you know who I'd bump up there with Wenberg and Eklund is Graf.
Yeah,
the kids are doing all they can to like push the pace and like show up the vets.
And I feel like Chicago did this. Like Khrushchev was on the Blackhawks last year, and I feel like he was brought into that team specifically to put with Connor Bedard, and that didn't really do anything. So I don't know. The Sharks are like, well, we can make it work. We're the Sharks. Fuck you, Chicago.
Sure.
No, but that's to me. That's what like it's like. Oh, we can. Chicago can't make it work because they suck. We're the Sharks. We can make this work. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that goes.
And why wouldn't
you? The Sharks, they have a new goal song. I don't know if you heard it 6 times yesterday.
It's fine, I suppose.
It's a song. It's a goal song.
I mean, look, you can look at Twitter, look at Reddit, look at all the, everybody for the most part, 95% of people that heard it, they're all calling it AI slop. And I'm not going to disagree. It definitely sounds computer generated. It doesn't have a lot of energy, especially because it sounds so synthetic. Like if they had said, okay, this is the song, we've written the chords, now we're going to hire a live band to play it and record it that way so it's live instruments, so it sounds like it has a little more punch to it. I would have preferred that. I don't hate the song, but it certainly doesn't, at least for me, I can only speak for myself, it doesn't inspire me to get up in there and go, hey, what, I don't know how the song goes. I don't, whatever. But I'm still one of those people. And what's funny is like you can't go a day over the last 10 days without seeing a Reddit thread saying the goal song sucks. This is what it should have been. And there's been a few people that have said, look, Gary Glitter is not getting paid for Rock and Roll Part 2 anymore. Like, can't we go back to that?
No.
And
the Sharks are too woke.
I kind of agree that, like, I think you could go back to it. But just the whole fact of, like, is it really that difficult to come up with a song that's kind of close, but, like, it's not Rock and Roll Part 2, but maybe it's similar.
Maybe it's Roll and Rock Part 2.
Yeah, sure. I do. Like, I think about it. I'm like, it would take me like a minute to come up with something, relative. But okay, hold on. How does it go? What is it? It's what is it? The oh.
We're getting copyright claimed.
Yeah. So invert the chords. All of a sudden you're just going. like, just that's all you need to do. Invert a couple chords, boom. And it's not a Gary Glitter song, but you invert a couple chords and everybody still gets it.
That's right. The San Jose Sharks are not paying, but apparently Tealtown USA is going to when they claim this video. Clip
But that's
that,
all you need to do, for Christ's sakes.
Yes, I see. We need rock and roll part 2.01.
Yeah, rock and roll point 27.
Thank God. All right. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, look at it's a goal song. I eventually it's just going to be what it is, and I'm not even going to think about it anymore. I still think like it was time for a change. I just wish that it was better.
Yeah, and okay. Oh my, all right, Dalton. This is the last time I'm going to fucking say this. The Sharks reached out to Metallica however many years ago about doing a specific song for the Sharks, for a goal song, and Metallica, quote, politely declined.
Yes.
They're not going to change their minds. So they were asked the one time, and Metallica said, we're not Pantera. Thank you, but no thank you. If anything, and I will say this a bajillion times, I would love for the Sharks to, and I'm not saying that they haven't, but I would love for the Sharks to reach out to one Mr. Sammy Hagar, who, born in Salinas, has ties to the Bay Area, and literally wrote a song like 25 years ago called Mas Tequila. Go look it up on the UbiTube. That is literally, I think he might have given Gary Glitter a writing credit because he admitted this is a takeoff of Rock and Roll Part 2. So reach out to Sammy. He's already done most of the work. Just say, strip the vocal out of the song, drop in a couple hays, and we're done. Collect your money, go home. Go to Cabo. Go have some Cabo Wabo and be done with it.
Yeah, how do you say it? Like, this is what I would have done. Like, can the players just pick goals on? Yeah, I would have let them do it. Sometimes, like, maybe they'd pick something dumb. Maybe they'd pick something great. Like, I brought up Canadian thing. Here we go. Bring it back to the Leafs, baby.
Hell yeah.
So you bring the Canadian on to do. But like the Leafs, they change their goal song every year, and the team picks it, and everyone gets over it. Sometimes it's not great. Sometimes it's fucking Panama.
I thought it's been that Daryl Hall and John Oates song for
it's
the last
fucking
3
Panama
years.
right now.
It's what?
It's Panama.
Oh shit! All right, well that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like just let the players do it, man.
But the "You Make My Dreams" thing happening, I was just like, you know what? Like it's kind of silly, but fuck. I mean, if you pick something so randomly odd like that, it kind of works. Like
I think, and if you tell people the players picked it, and you don't give the season ticket holders an option, and then let them leak it to the rest of us scrubs,
just imagine. Dude, it could have been girls just want to have fun.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So like, just let them,
a little more.
Just let them, let them pick it, and then people would be like, "Oh, well, the Sharks picked the song. Maybe I don't like it, but they picked it, so whatever. This is fine." Like, I guarantee you wouldn't have half the uproar you have right
now. Either way, they're going to go at least half the season with it. So suck it up. And the funny thing is that there were a few people on the social saying, after hearing it 5 or 6 times last night, they're kind of like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm like, any goal song that you hear 10 times in a night, it could have been anything. Hey, my team scored 10 times. It's a great fucking song.
Do we really? Yes, of course you need a goal song. You need one.
Yeah, it's part of the sports vernacular when it comes to hockey. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be way worse without one, where it's just like they scored and it's like, and then that's it. No. Unacceptable. Owen Nolan on color with Rusey on the radio. Things you love to see. How'd it go?
Dude. When on the game last, because the game on Thursday was a national game, wasn't local. Mm-hmm. So we didn't get the sultry baritone of one Mr. Randy Hahn. When they went to the commercial from the second intermission, we'll be back with Owen Nolan. I was like, what? Because Owen Nolan, for the most part, like first off, it's been over 20 fucking years since Chief was like hanging out, and he is kind of the opposite of a Joe Thornton or a Patrick Marleau, whereas he's not the guy who, like, once his career was done, he was fucking out. He like pulled the ripcord. He was done. It's not like the next season when Captain's Ice began that he was out there helping the young pups the way Thornton and Marleau have. Nolan was just like, where's the nearest fishing hole? I'm gone. So to see Nolan do this, because as far as I know, the last thing that Owen Nolan did, like he did a signing thing during the All-Star game in 2019. And he, from what I understand, not a big fan of the league. Like when the NHL asks him to do things, he tells the league to go fuck themselves. But when the Sharks ask him to do something, he's like, yeah, I can do that. But he's very much the NHL can go fuck itself. So
Fair.
To have Nolan on the broadcast, and you know what? Very well spoken during the intermission. Like, dude had some things to say. I was just like, oh my God, fuck, God love Owen Nolan, because for me, he's the first guy to give the San Jose Sharks an identity. You know, because, you know, there's a couple guys before that, whether it was Odgers or Doug Wilson, whoever. It was just not so much. But between Owen Nolan as the captain and Daryl Sutter. Because what do we have? We had Sutter, Suter, and Stewart. Yeah. Sutter, Stewart, and Suter. I was like, what a stupid thing this is. But having Daryl Sutter, like Owen Nolan and Daryl Sutter, both of them were kind of two sides of the same coin. They were both just, you know, guys that didn't have a lot to say. They were just both very just fuck you guys. Yeah. And so to see Nolan on there, I was just like, oh my God. I like all of a sudden I like had to grab my phone and be like, okay, I want to listen to what Owen Nolan has to say as a color guy. And I'm really, really hoping to hear more of him on the broadcast. You know, not to say that Mark Smith or Scott Hannon or any other guys can't do it, but you know, Owen Nolan, to me, that's just chef's kiss. And I think he would have some things to say, especially the fact that, you know, he hasn't played in almost 20 years and he hasn't really been around it. Like, he's been fishing, he's been doing his thing. So to see him come back, fucking love it.
So Chitin in the chat here saying, I felt like we could barely hear the song, and then I'd hear, hey, hey. I thought that, like, that was the one thing I did. I thought, like, what, at least from watching on the stream that I was watching, like, I thought it came through really well. So I'm surprised that it didn't come through.
Well, I got to tell you, both the SAP Center and Tech CU, both of those venues, they are notorious for, like, the seats, the just your eye line, your eyesight, everything. You can see everything great. Yeah. The sound, sadly, not so much. Like, I was at the game for the Barracuda yesterday for their home opener, and where I was sitting, which was right up against the glass, right behind the goal net, and there were things that were being said, and me and a couple of people looking at each other going, I can't hear a word this person is saying. Like, I can't, like, you know, it's like, they need to realize that the more speakers you have, the less volume you need. So let's have somebody come in there, add a whole bunch of, like, double up the speakers, dial them into the right places, and then you can bring the volume down a little bit. Because I will say that was one of the things that was kind of irritating me on Thursday night, watching the Sharks game, being at the CUDA game yesterday and watching the Sharks game last night. I don't like being screamed at and being told when to fan. Fair. You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
The game's going good, and or just, you know, if you've got good video elements, if you're doing fun stuff, I don't need, whether it's Emily Harlan or Amelia, whatever her name is, or and I love Danny Miller. I think he does a great fucking job. I just, you know, between Amelia and Emily, it was like, I don't or Aaron Fonseca, I don't like, like you can let the game breathe once in a while. You don't need to fill every silence.
Fair enough.
Make some noise. Maybe I don't want to.
Maybe I'm good. Last week we said that it was time for Kevin Labanc to learn Chinese, and he's going to have to because he is on his way to the Shanghai Dragons.
What an amazing prediction that was.
The China Sharks, I swear to God, like they're the real China Sharks, because I feel like everyone who, like, there's so many former Sharks on that team.
You just got to feel for that fucking guy. Like
I do.
His claim, his height was just, the 3 assists and that goal. Yeah. In the biggest overtime game ever in playoff history. And then where did he go before? Did he end up at like New Jersey or something?
Yeah, he stopped in New Jersey and Columbus.
They get a PTO with Columbus.
Yeah.
Right? And they can't pull off the PTO and ends up in fucking Shanghai. Like, dude, even Timo's going to be texting him going, oh, dude, It's crazy when you remember like just like the way he went, right? Like he took that bet on himself deal for nothing. Yeah,
and then he got that contract
right.
then he got that contract that he just somehow didn't live up to.
Yep. Did the bet on himself thing. And then like within like a week or something or 10 days from that, him or his wife put out on Instagram, dad, Banker's going to be a dad.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, awesome. Good for him. And it seems like as soon as he got the news that he was going to be a dad, his game coincidentally just went.
And some former Shark goalies doing things. Georgi Romanov ended up in St. Louis, and Georgiev is down in the AHL where he belongs, not in the KHL where he probably belongs even more. But Buffalo sent him down.
I like the comment from Future Consideration says, I always felt like Nolan was just an outdoors kind of guy like Burns. Right out of the league, he just got an outdoors fishing show. You know what? Nolan and Burns would be a fantastic fucking remember what was it? The OLN Outdoor Life Network?
Where the NHL played hockey for a few years, and it was not good.
Dude, that Nolan and Burns, that would just be oh my God. It would almost be like Nolan and Burns, kind of like a what do you call it? Like one of those buddy cop shows, but instead they're like, outdoor guys.
Yeah.
That would be good.
All right. Let's talk about that other team in the Bay Area. Yay. All right. The San Jose Barracuda they played one game.
Oh, it was so much fun.
This was fun because we were the Barracuda were on the right side of it. They beat the Bakersfield Condors 7-6 at TechCU. Goals from Philip Beestead, Zach Stopchuk, Giles, Musty, Cagnoni, Huntington, and Cardwell with the game-winning goal. Assists for Musty, Beestead, Havilid, Huntington, Lund had 3. Giles, Cardwell, Furlong, and Chernishev, who was also really good in this game, had 2. Rem Pitlick, former Barracuda, came back and definitely had some things to say to them.
Dude, I will tell you, watching that game. So yesterday, mm-hmm. I'm on the glass, behind the net in the cove with some friends. And dude, from the jump, and I had forgotten, at first I was like, why does that name Pitlick sound so familiar to me? Yeah. And it took me a minute. I'm like, oh, fuck, he, used to be here. Dude, whether it was practice, whether it was skating back to the bench after the whistle had been blown and it was like, okay, it's, commercial time. This kid all the time was hustling, clearly trying to send a message to the Sharks organization saying, you fucked up by not keeping me around. Pitlick had some shit to prove yesterday. Amazing. Seeing some of the guys up close, dude. First off, Chernishev, that guy is a fucking redwood tree, dude. That guy is way bigger in person than he looks on TV. Beestead played with a shit ton of fuck you in his game. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he's up with the Sharks after about 20 games that he's going to come up because somebody else isn't getting it done. Is it Goodrow? We don't know. It could be.
Get hurt.
Dude, I'm telling you, Beasted had a good amount of fuck you to his game. I liked what I saw from Musty. Huntington was also another guy that kind of stood out for me yesterday. That also had a little bit of a fuck you, a little nasty streak to his game. So
yeah, veteran. I mean, he was a guy brought in to kind of add a little veteran presence to make up for the significant
he fucking brought it with him, dude.
Lost. Yeah,
he brought it with him. But yeah, really fun game to watch. Great opener.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I said when we were talking about the Barracuda last week, I said they would be fun. I don't know if they'd be fun good. Goaltending is definitely a concern here. I don't think Skarek was very good in this game, and he's never really been good. Like I went just to confirm what I thought I knew about him, and like he's never had a save percentage in the AHL over 900. Like not good.
Well, why was Jakob even here? Like was Aaron Dell? Where's Aaron Dell?
Aaron Dell retired.
Well, they couldn't talk him out of coming back? Really? But yeah, that's the whole thing. You look at that. Who's the longest name ever guy that the Sharks drafted in goal last draft?
Ravensburgen.
Yeah, where's that guy?
He's back in junior. He's young. He's 18.
Fuck it. Bring him up already. I mean, there's nothing else here.
Leave him where he is.
Oh, dude. That's the one thing that I think is going to be difficult about watching the Barracuda this season is like
their goaltending's not going to be good.
Yeah, unless Jakob or
Carrier
does some shit. Oof. Like, I don't have any problem with them letting go of oh God, what's the cat that they let go of last season that really never got it done? Not Georgiev. What was the cat here?
Romanov.
Yeah. Romanov, whatever. Yeah, and where did he end up? Like Buffalo or St. Louis or something?
St. Louis, yeah. He's in St. Louis's farm team, I think.
Either way, yeah, there needs to be another guy they need to groom, and I don't think he's in San Jose right now, but either way, if the Sharks can just outscore their mistakes like they did yesterday, the Barracuda could be a lot of fun to watch.
I think, and if both Thompson and Carlson clear waivers, which I expect Carlson to do, Thompson's the guy that worries me. Yep. You add those two guys to the mix on the Barracuda, and that's definitely going to shore up that blue line.
Hell yeah.
The offense is going to be really good. Like we've seen what that offense could look like. Do I expect them to score 7 goals every game? Obviously not, but they're definitely, there's definitely guys down there, a lot of young guys that are looking to show what they're made of. I mean, there's going to be, injuries happen, and these guys are going to, and there's a lot of guys down there that are in a competition to be the guy that gets called up. I don't think when you look down there, like there's an obvious, this guy's getting called up, right? Like if a forward goes down, is it Chernishev? Is it Cam Lund? Is it Quentin Musty? Like there's no, that's the guy, which is, I think, great. Austin asking about Matt Davis. So Matt Davis, this is his first year of pro hockey. He's also a goalie. He's going to be, he's going to do what Gabe Carrier did last year, or the year before last, where he's going to go to Wichita so that he can get starts. And then he's going to come back up in case of an injury, or maybe they'll give him a couple starts in the AHL. And then he's basically going to be on the bus from here to Wichita a lot, which is fine. And that's for goalie development. I think that's totally fine. But yeah, you look at the offense, like there's a lot of guys in that offensive group, and I don't know who the first call up is.
Dude, all I know is there was a lot of good looks for the Barracuda last night. And like I said, I was right on the glass behind the net. So it was fun seeing the back and forth. There was a couple times, absolutely, where maybe a guy held onto the puck a little too long, could have fired off a pass a little earlier. Those are things that will connect down the line, but I'm telling you, the CUDA, this could be a lot of fun to watch, and especially, at least in maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like this season, like last season, the season before, it was kind of, all right, how soon before this guy gets called up? How soon before this guy gets hauled up? I don't know that there's a whole lot of guys right now on the Barracuda squad that are going to get a call up just because there's already a log jam up there.
Yeah, well, injuries happen, right? And
yeah, injuries happen. But
there's no obvious path where like this guy's gonna get placed so well where this guy's going down. Like Barkley.
Well, and how much last season do we hear about whether it was Cardwell or Cagnoni or Gushin? It was those three seem to be mentioned constantly.
Yeah.
So I don't know that those guys will get mentioned constantly, not because they're not good and not making a name for themselves with the Barracuda, but simply because there's just, again, a log jam with the big club. So let's see what happens. But I like I said, for just the opening game, I liked what I saw from Musty. I really liked what I saw from Chernyshov, Beestead, and Cardwell. Mm-hmm. And, we're going to see what happens. But, it was a lot of fun. When is oh, God. And that's the fucked up thing about the Barracudas. They opened last night, and then, like, their next game is next Saturday. Like
and it's one game again. Like, what is going on with the schedule?
Oh, dude. It's so stupid.
I was like, okay, right on. It's Sunday. We're gonna get another Barracuda game. No.
Right? No, you're not.
No, you're not. You get one NHL game.
Guess again.
No NHL game on Friday. One NHL game today.
But I will state, dude, the stupidest thing ever was being at the Barracuda game, and during the intermission or whatever, they throw this big advertisement up for Chuck-a-Puck. And for those for those of you who don't know, like Chuck-a-Puck, it used to be a couple seasons ago or whatever, when it was at the Tank, it would be for, like $5, we'll give you a bag of 10 of these foam pucks that during the second intermission, everybody throws them onto the ice. You try to get to as close to the middle of the ice as you can. Whoever gets the closest fucking wins. But it was like $5 gets you 10 pucks, and then $10 gets you 20, and 20 gets you 50, and it was this escalating thing. Well, and I'm quite sure it was very much just kind of like, the people that have to run this show are just like, that's way too many fucking pucks for us to clean up. Like, dial it down.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
So last night, yesterday, whatever, the graphic comes up and it's like 3 pucks for $5 or 5 pucks for $10.
Yeah.
And I went, why wouldn't I do 6 pucks for $10? Like 3 for 5 and then another 3 for 5. Like, shouldn't it be 3 for $5 and like, I don't know, 7 for 10, 8 for 10?
You would think. Why instead of just being like, okay, here's $5 and then here's $5 more.
Yeah, I was kind of like, that math ain't mathing. So,
no, it's not a deal.
Dude, I definitely want to go to the next Barracuda game at TechCU just to see if they figured that out.
I wonder if it's the same person that was like, okay, so here's what we need to put on the banners.
I don't know.
SAP Center, like...
Dude, it was just so weird to see that. What's happening here in the chat? You look like you play with a boomerang, so something will come back to you. I mean, okay.
Okay. I know he's lighting
like, I feel
there.
like he's like, I feel like that his like side joke from like a celebrity roast that almost got there but didn't quite. But I appreciate the effort. Cretin, whatever. Are we going to the Sharks Cuda doubleheader on November 1st? Well, I don't know. Are you buying the tickets? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Just some other prospect news. Just to hit quick here. Eric Polkamp became the 12th Denver defenseman to score a hat trick.
My man.
Yeah. I mean, I am super excited for when he turns pro. And Sharks 2022 6th round pick and UConn player Joey Mazzoni is going to be on the NCAA is apparently sending a all-star team, maybe an all-star team, but a selection of players to go play in this year's Spangler Cup in Davos, Switzerland, and he has been selected to represent the NCAA team. The 21-year-old had 29 goals, 18 assists for 47 points, 12 penalty minutes, and a plus 27 in 29 games with UConn last season. So congratulations for him. I think that's a really cool experience to go play in the Spangler Cup.
Hell yeah. I mean, you're going to root for anybody that was, part of the Sharks draft history, especially when it
Apparently.
was drafted by a guy who would get thrown under the bus by the owner at some point. We don't know.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Apparently, you could get hooked up here.
Nice. All right. Well, hit me up on Twitter, my man.
All right. So that brings us to the main event of the evening.
Dude. Dude. I feel so vindicated. Oh, the things that I said and caught shit for saying for I don't know how long on the Pucknologist. And now I'm just like, how you like me now, motherfuckers?
Yeah. So Hasso Plattner sat with the local scribes and really candid interview. I was surprised, like how candid.
Dude,
Like
name me any other owner that has ever been this fucking candid.
Like amazing. Like you talk about guys having too much media training. Apparently, Hasso Plattner has none.
Dude, I can't. I cannot just. I'll be the first to admit, I had a little bit of an issue, and I know that you had to talk me down a couple times where you were just very much like, AJ, he signs the checks and
Correct.
doesn't get in people's way. Fucking enjoy that.
Yes.
And I was very much kind of like, well, it'd be nice if he would fucking come out once in a while.
Sure.
And like answer some questions or whatever. At least say howdy, how you doing? So the fact that he like hadn't really done anything with the media in like what 6 years ish.
Yeah. Like since the cup run.
Yeah. And the fact that he had so much candor, I was blown away. It was literally a zero fucks to give interview.
It really was. It was so good.
Dude,
so good.
Cheap was like, I fucking retired. I got this team. This is what I'm here for. But I will say some of the quotes, some of the things that he said, this is what I took away. First off, he kind of admitted in a roundabout way, at least the way that I read between the lines, tell me if I'm wrong, is that for a bit of a time, Doug Wilson kind of had him snowed.
Yeah.
Like he had him, but Wilson had a plan. And despite Plattner being like, I don't know about that, he still bought in. And hey, if you're the fucking GM, you want an owner that's going to be like, I'm not sure about this, but if
Correct.
you think that's your thing, I'm here to support you. I'm not going to cut your knees out. And God knows he did. But then you listen to those quotes and it was like, yeah, I would have started the rebuild like 2 years earlier.
Correct. Which and some of that I do think is easy to say with the benefit of hindsight too.
Absolutely.
Like I think there's a lot of like
thing.
Yeah, like so let's get into some of the highlights here. Obviously,
dude, it was nothing but highlights.
You're right. There's nothing but highlights. I mean, I could just read the articles themselves, but let's not do that. Basically, saying that he suffered with Sharks fans, wanted the rebuild to start in 2020. The rebuild didn't start until Mike Grier was hired, obviously. The interesting thing at the time, there was a lot of talk about Hasso. Like, then this is me speaking. Sorry, this is not a quote. The interesting thing at the time, though, was when Mike Grier was hired, there was a lot of talk in the media, especially like the Elliot Friedmans of the world, saying like there was a lot of talk that that Hasso might not be open to a tear down rebuild, and that the new GM might not be able to do that.
Or, I mean, remember around here, it was very much kind of like, you don't say the R word in San Jose.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that, I mean, and at least so far from what we've heard in that interview, that seems to be, it wasn't that we don't say the R word, it's that Doug Wilson can't say the R word.
Correct. Whew. Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting because, again, going back to when Mike Grier was hired, there's a lot of talk. Oh well, he's looking for someone who can put this on the back on the tracks quickly, which is obviously not what Mike Grier came in and did. Like he stripped it to the bolts. he did say that it was a mistake to let Joe Pavelski go to Dallas as a free agent.
Again,
He also
hindsight.
said, correct. He also said he regrets letting Josh Norris and the pick that became Tim Stützle go in the trade that brought Erik Karlsson to San Jose. I mean,
I'm just going to sit there and say, for all the shit that I took for burying Karlsson in effigy, just saying from the jump that for me, I was not a fan of Karlsson. I didn't think he fit here. And people told me I was out of my mind. I didn't know fuck all or jack shit about hockey. Blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. Everybody has their own opinion and they're entitled to it. But I got to tell you, the fact that the owner of the fucking team came out and basically said the exact same shit that I was saying, but 5 years later, again,
it's with the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah, and with the benefit of hindsight, yes. I feel a little vindicated. And you look at some of the comments, whether it was from Max or Shane or Curtis, you look at some of the things that he said, what it was basically like Erik Karlsson, not a team guy, not a team player, all of these types of things. And, these are things that I was saying to Hockey Jerk 3, 4, 5 years ago. And again, I remember specifically talking to Jerk. Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, Satan. I remember specifically seeing Karlsson come out of the practice area out into the parking lot, and there's only like 3 or 4 people. Mm-hmm. And only a couple of them, not even all of them, just a couple of them said, hey, Eric, would it be okay to get a photo or could you sign this puck? And I was like, oh, sorry, guys, I got to go. I got something I got to get to. And then just after he says that, Hurdle comes out and he sees Karlsson and Hurdle see each other, and Karlsson has his brand new $180,000 Ferrari, whatever. And Karlsson looks at Hurdle and goes, so what do you think of it, buddy? And Hurdle comes over and blah, and they start sitting there chopping it up about this fucking sports car for like 10, 12 minutes. And it took everything that I had not to go, hey, bud, I thought you had somewhere to be. As soon as I saw shit like that, I was like, yeah, fuck this guy. Whereas I had seen Brent Burns sign a bunch of shit, get into his car, be halfway out of the parking lot, and somebody held up a Burns jersey and he fucking hits the brakes, waves the person over. Mm-hmm. So he can sign it and then move on. So it's like he was not going to let anybody go that wanted his autograph that wouldn't get it. It was like the polar opposite of that. And it's like, there's a team guy. So to see that, it was like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, yeah, Erik Karlsson, fuck that guy. The one thing, though, that I didn't care for with Plattner's discussion on that was, letting Josh Norris go. In hindsight, you kind of go, well, dude is kind of like an injury bug,
right? And that's what I was going to say. Like, I was going to wait. I was going to let you finish, but like, to me, I don't think it really extends the window. Josh Norris has, I think the most games he's ever played in a season is like 66. The average that he plays in a season is 50. Is he playing for Buffalo right now? No, he's currently injured. So I don't think it moves the needle. Now, obviously, if the trade doesn't happen, where do the Sharks finish? I don't think it's Erik Karlsson's fault specifically that the Sharks fell apart. I just think they were at the end of their window when he came. Well, we can disagree on that.
No, I'm kidding. But the thing I also didn't like about Plattner is basically saying he regretted letting Josh Norris and Tim Stützle go. Like, maybe I didn't read it correctly, but from all of them, the way that I read it was like, the fact that we let Tim's, and I'm like, you never had Tim's, you had that pick. And let's be honest, if if everything works out with Erik Karlsson and blah, you wouldn't have had third overall. It would have been far different.
That was not the plan.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that part of it, like, when you talk about revisionist history or like talking about shit in hindsight, that's the biggest one. Like, if everything had gone to plan, there's no fucking way you gave up third overall.
Yeah, 100%, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
Tim Stützle, German guy, German owner.
Stutzler.
He basically, obviously, like he talked about how of some players just basically begging their way out of San Jose when things fell off the
Dude.
tracks. And I do have a graphic here.
Holy shit.
And when Tomasz came and said, Hasso, please let me go. I played 10 years for the San Jose Sharks. I did everything possible. I got 3 knee injuries. If I get one more, I'm done. I only have so many years. Let me go to a team where I have a chance to win this goddamn cup. And I said, Tomasz, we'll let you go, which I regret because I really liked him and we always had fun together and joked. He always had a smile on his face. He was a good guy.
Fuck, dude. When I read that, I was like, holy shit. Because, in my mind, I literally have it burned that there's a shot where the camera is this far from Hurdle's face and he's going, let's go, Shark! After they had, at the end of game 7 or whatever, like he was losing his shit. And you think about it like fucking 2019. Isn't that? He was one of the significant injuries in that cup run.
Yeah.
And it's you think about those
Erik
knees
Karlsson on one leg.
Yep. So you think about that and you're like, god damn. But look, if it all works, if Askarov, this is one of those ones where we hopefully 5, 7, 9 years from now, we sit there and go, this all worked out for everybody. Hurdle went to a team that gave him more opportunities to win, provided that they don't win one.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
At least fuck that team. But it gets Hurdle exactly what he asked for, and hopefully Askarov, which all those trading and moving, all the moving pieces ended up with Askarov. It's basically traded Hurdle to get Askarov. So hopefully that works out. I'm man, that just blows me away. But again, when would you ever hear a GM or an owner admit something like that? That's incredible.
Just so like just to like, and I don't think I think this is just him being German and this is not his first language, and like just all these things kind of rolled together and just this perfect storm of just.
Dude, I felt like at the beginning of this conversation, I'm like, did he forget to say, okay, all of this is off the record, go.
Right. I just think it's just. I just think this is how German people are, and English is not his first language, and just like the bus, man, the bus. This is like, because I mean, like as much look at, I love Hurdle,
but to his credit, it's another guy. Whether it was Burns or Meyer or Hurdle, all guys. Whether it was Plattner or Greer, all of these are guys that they put into a situation that they wanted. Like I feel. Like that sent a message to the rest of the league that says, hey, San Jose is going to do right by you. If for whatever reason you go there and the situation doesn't work, they're still going to do what they can to put you in the spot that you want to be in.
Yeah.
I was very impressed by that. And I still, and I don't know that this was mentioned in any of those articles by Shang or Pashoka or Max. The fact that if I remember correctly, Joe Will was in charge when the Hurdle extension was signed.
He was the figurehead. Yes,
he was the figurehead, which tells me that shit was already in motion when Wilson was still here.
Yeah. So he went on to say, and this is kind of what I inferred from this too, that Wilson was still calling the shots from home basically, and Joe Will was the one in the office. He said that the on why Hurdle was extended. He said that Wilson said that he didn't want to rebuild because he thought he could keep the team competitive around Tomasz Hurdle and Logan Couture, as basically the corner. He thought he could rebuild around that, which is why the Hurdle extension happened. So it kind of, again, it goes back to the point where we've given Joe Will a lot of grief over the fact that he was allowed to sign this extension, and it sounds like Wilson was basically calling the shots from home. On Doug Wilson's absence, he said it was due to permanent headaches, which is crazy. Again, like just shit that we weren't allowed to know, right? And it's like, oh yeah, he had headaches and like whatever was going on with him.
Permanent headaches. Just say Erik Karlsson. You don't have to do a euphemism.
He was spending most of his time at home. Said the senior Wilson was a good guy with very good hockey sense. He was far less complimentary.
Well, yeah, I said this years ago where I was very much kind of like, and this is because I hadn't heard much from Hasso, and I didn't like the direction that the Sharks were in, and I was like, I wonder if Doug Wilson just doesn't have Hasso snowed, that he just, said, oh no, this is the way, and he went straight Mandalorian. This is the way. This is what we're gonna do. Blah blah blah. And I was, oh my god, and I was like, well, Hasso, he's got SAP, and who knows whatever. Well, like this is probably the fourth thing on his list of to dos. Yeah. So he's like, okay, Doug, do your thing.
Well, also in fairness to Hasso Plattner, though, this is a team that was in the Stanley Cup final in 2016. They were in the conference final in 2019. So
dude, you could see the cracks. Cachet.
You could see the cracks were forming. Like anyone could see that the cracks were there, and that with the core aging like it was, like that this was not going to last forever. The conference final run was a little bit of fool's gold, as we found out very quickly.
But Doug had built some cachet.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't blame Hasso Plattner for being like, okay, well, Doug Wilson's my hockey guy. He's going to make the hockey decisions. I don't blame him at that point
I don't blame him for that.
To go with him.
But the thing that I do kind of sit there and go, "Oh,
yes,"
is DW Jr.
Yes, I was just about to get to that.
Dude, getting absolutely trucked in that interview, and to be fair, so DW Jr. was like what? He was kind of top of the fucking list from 17 through 21. Is that about it?
Yes. He was in charge of the player developed drafting from 17.
And not great drafts, It's like now to be fair, and I'll be the first one to admit it, I was very bullish on the fact that he went after Ryan Merkley because I felt like the Sharks so many times had gone for the safe pick.
The safe guy, the high floor.
Exactly. I'm like, exactly. High floor. I wanted the guy that might have the high ceiling.
Correct.
Like swing for the fucking fences, especially on defense. And so when they went for Merkley, I was like, fuck yeah, Merkley didn't pan out. I could at least sit there and say, hey, they fucking went for their guy. Yeah, they swung.
Yeah.
At least you can say that instead of fucking Mirko Mueller. They didn't play it safe. So I was happy about that. Now, all that said, those 5 years that Junior was running shit, the receipts are not good.
No.
But I think you could also look at Tim Burke's receipts and kind of go, the previous 5 years that Tim Burke had before going into that, I don't know that they were much better.
So let's go through the quote here. Just he's far less complimentary of Doug Wilson Jr. He said was over his pay grade and not drafting well. Basically, he's a nepo baby. The players, the players that are currently still with the Sharks from his tenure include Mario Ferraro, William Eklund, Ethan Cardwell, Philip Beestead, Cam Lund, Matthias Havelid, Jake Furlong, Reese Laubach, Joey Modoni. Now, some of those people are going to say, yes. So some of those people, now some people are going to say, oh, now wait a minute. Mike Grier was the GM when they drafted Philip Beestead and company from that draft
didn't
class.
Grier come in to like 3 days before the draft?
Which means that it was not, and I'm so glad that Pashelka put this in his article where it's like, this wasn't Mike Grier's work. He's not going to come in 3 days before the draft, tear up everything they have and say, okay, guys, look at, this is the new list.
Some ideas.
Right. Yeah. Like that's not the way that works. Right. Like, so yes, Mike Grier may have been the GM for the Philip Beestead draft, but that was still the previous regime's draft. And he continued, they were good at drafting previously, but lost it. But I disagree. I don't think the Sharks are particularly good at drafting. I think they were okay for stretches. But I think if you look at the Sharks, especially when they were in their contention window, something that I think really fucked them up was they always had to go and overpay guys to come in and play bottom six roles because they couldn't backfill from their own prospect pool.
Yeah, again, going back to how bad Tim Burke was for such a stretch that they couldn't find that.
And also in fairness to Burke too, a lot of these guys do get flipped to bring in guys as well.
Oh, absolutely. Doug Wilson so many times used picks, draft capital,
picks and players, guys he just drafted, being like, here's this guy, give us Dan Boyle,
try to keep that window open. I get it. I mean, dude, show me anybody that can, prove when it comes to the big trades, whether it was Jesus Christ, it was like Seto, Coyle, and a pick to get Burns. Like, I think that really, really worked out in the Sharks' favor.
Yeah.
You look at what was it? Stewart, McCauley, and Primo to get Joe fucking Thornton. Think that worked out in the Sharks' favor. I mean, now granted, like within 5 years, the Bruins won a fucking cup. So, what are you going to do? But there's definitely, when it comes to like those big kind of quote unquote blockbuster deals, you'd be hard pressed to find anybody that said Wilson did not win in the moment. Right.
So I won't stand any Roman Pollock slander. Okay,
so those, I would say Wilson did a really good job. Some of those picks just, the bill comes due with everybody. Hopefully it comes due with Vegas pretty fucking soon. But I don't know. It's, again, I just remember being very bullish on Doug Wilson Jr. And in hindsight, I think it's a case of, it's not that DW Jr. was that great. It was that I was so fed up with Tim Burke
with the Tim Burke and the high floor guys. Like, and like Doug Wilson Jr., like, obviously look at didn't work out. We were really high on a couple of draft classes, his 2020 specifically, and he also was talking about like, well, what happened with Thomas Bordeleau? But like, there was a point, and people forget this, that we're like, Thomas Bordeleau was the best prospect in the system. And that's what happens when your team is constantly playing in the playoffs and not drafting in the lottery. Like, Thomas Bordeleau for a long time was exciting because he was the only thing that was exciting about the Sharks prospect pool. And ultimately it didn't work out, but I mean, it's still like, you have to put it into context, right? It's not like the draft now where you've been drafting in the top 10, where you've got top 10 picks like Celebrini and Smith and Eklund and Dickinson was just outside the top 10, right? Like, that wasn't the case then.
It's tough, man.
He said that he is not interested in another year where the Sharks are a top team in the lottery.
Oh yeah, he sounded like, if we end up with McKenna, I'm about to kill somebody.
Yeah, he will not be thrilled. Although he'd be super happy if he had Gavin McKenna, because it's not where he wants to be though, and that's good. Some other things were not necessarily super tea spicy anymore. On spending to the cap, he said he hopes fans support him a little bit, come to the arena, watch on TV. Financially, it's not a problem. It's a problem of self-motivation. If we are playing better and there is a steady upward trajectory to a competitive team, then there shouldn't be a problem, right? And that's it. Like, that's a really good way of saying, winning kind of solves everything.
Well, and and this isn't the first time that he's said this. I remember him saying this like around 17, 18, somewhere there, that it was, does the dwindling attendance concern you? And he's like, yeah, it can, it's, of course it's concerning. And you look at it, Tuesdays and Thursdays don't draw well because they are Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. So what's one of the things that they tried to do? Well, they moved up start times a half an hour. Maybe that'll help. We've seen it before in the past where they said, well, what if we do some sort of happy hour kind of a deal before the games start, where it's like, half off beer and popcorn or whatever. And, we try to do some different things. The thing that I don't get is, if Tuesdays and Thursdays draw so poorly, why do you keep doing these giveaways on the weekends. Like, why aren't you doing this? I mean, they did do the Celebrini Smith, that, opening night was a Thursday.
Yep.
So be it. It's a Thursday. And that's another thing, though, that I'm going to go screaming to the rafters about. Opening night for hockey needs to be, what's that thing called, like Frozen Frenzy, where a game starts every 15 minutes from
I love that
from
shit.
like lunch until like 7:30 or 8 o'clock. That needs to be every year, like the first Saturday of October.
Of the season.
First Saturday of October, Frozen Frenzy begins the hockey season. And it's, different game starts every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes, whatever it is. And that's the way you start the hockey season. None of this, there's going to be 3 games on the very first day. Then there's going to be 12 games on the next day. Then there'll be 4 games on the day. And then there's going to be no games on Friday, which was so fucking stupid. So, that's one of the things that I was kind of, they need to fucking pick that day and say, this is our day. First, jot it down on the calendar. Oh, it's the first Saturday of October. Boom. Start of NHL. I don't care when it is.
I want to address this quickly. GM should have blown up any previous draft plans. The timing of his hiring is on the Sharks, not Mike. Yeah, I mean, sure. Okay. I agree with that. But that's not how the front offices work, right? Like, you don't, with that short a time to come in, like, he's not going to come in and like, the GM is the guy at the top. He makes all the decisions, but he relies on his scouting department to do it. And unfortunately, the scouting department he had at the time when he was hired was Doug Wilson Jr. and company. There was no way to get around that. Teams aren't giving up their scouts 3 days before the draft. Like, it's easy to say, oh, well, don't defend mismanagement and, allow mismanagement, but it's not mismanagement. That's just how hockey front offices work. That's just the way it is. Like, it's not defending mismanagement. It's just the way it works.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, I hate to say this, you're not selling enough tickets. You're not drawing enough people. Lower prices. It's called supply and demand.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. It's business 101. If you have 17,435 tickets to sell and you're consistently only selling 12,000 of them, lower the prices. See if people spend.
Yeah.
See if you get more people.
Gonna hit a couple comments here before we wrap this up. He's like, one thing though, the Sharks side did draft high in some years and when they were competitive. Yeah, no, you're right. They did. There was obviously, coming out of the lockout, everyone was in a lottery, so they got to pick high there. There was a season where they missed playoffs.
Who
they
the
drafted
fuck is Harold?
I don't know.
Like Couture, sure. Setaguchi, yeah. Meyer, of course. Harold.
Hurdle.
Oh, Hurdle. Okay. Oh, that must be, maybe he was doing that with voice.
Yeah.
But either way, though, some of those picks were kind of like,
I'm not, again, it's not like
squirrel finding a nut.
We're not saying like that it was a complete disaster. I just think that if you look at the Sharks in their competitive window, a big problem they had where they weren't able to backfill. So they went out and had to overpay guys like Joel Ward to come in.
I'm just saying, from here on out, I will be referring to him as Tomas Harold.
Tomas, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
The other thing that we didn't really discuss is, and again, this is something that you and I went back and forth on. The Sharks did not pick a fucking captain.
Yes, I forgot about that.
So stupid.
But let's finish this and we'll park that for a second. We'll come back to it.
All right, fine.
The other thing, so basically just said, like, obviously winning solves everything, but he's like, I have money I can spend to the cap, so that's good. On whether he ever considered moving the Sharks, he says the new leadership in San Jose is very supportive. San Francisco is too far away. Oakland, no, poor city.
I mean, can we be honest?
Yeah.
What's the primary demographic in Oakland? If we're being 100.
Okay.
Look, African American audience.
I was going to say, I don't know.
Hockey, not their first love. So it's kind of like, why would you,
Yeah,
I feel like I think we can all be adults and say, yeah, do you want to put again, just being 100, I'm not here to insult anybody whatsoever. I'm just like playing into demographics. It's like, do you want to put a primarily white sport in a city that is primarily black?
That's fair.
If you're a business person, you're probably not going to do that.
And
that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
And the Golden State,
the Warriors?
The Warriors, thank you.
Yeah, the basketball team?
The basketball team, their arena, like that arena was not built with hockey in mind. Like they couldn't put a rink in there even if they wanted to.
And I would have loved to. I think the Warriors could have stayed in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
But why did they go to San Francisco? Bigger media market.
Right.
And so like there was no way the hell in hell the Sharks were going to go to Oakland. It just didn't make any sense. Going to San Francisco, perhaps, but like they've already had a couple hockey teams try to make a go of it. Hell, when the Sharks were at the Cal Palace for 2 years, they drew pretty well, but let's be honest, they drew well because it was a new novelty thing.
Mm-hmm.
They were still in a shit barn.
Correct.
Yeah. If they had been there another 10 years, I guarantee you their numbers would have been way less. But yeah, Sharks aren't going anywhere. They need to be in San Jose. Like
you're getting some pushback in the chat about Oakland here.
The Sharks, what?
Said you're getting a little pushback in the chat about Oakland. Definitely jump saying just to follow up on the conversation we had previously. If that's the way it is, then don't fire Doug Wilson 3 days before the draft. Well, I mean, they didn't. He was gone.
Well, they didn't fire him.
It just took them.
He took leave because he was not.
It took
physically
them a while
well
to hire a general manager. It wasn't like they just called Mike Greer immediately and said, "Okay, you're in." Like there was
Sleepy's saying there are more white people than any other demographic in Oakland, actually, and that's fine. But how many of them are going to pay to see hockey?
Christ.
Clan member of wow, dude. Jesus Christ, Chris.
Paul saying we have a ton of hockey fans in Oakland. There's a decent community of us at Oakland Ice. There's tons of support in the East Bay for the Sharks.
And that's awesome. And see, this is what I was worried about. But Oakland Ice, are there 17,500 people showing up there every night for hockey ice events? Like I'm just, just based on the demographics, can we just be honest for a minute and say, San Jose Earthquakes, soccer, what demographic does that historically draw? I'll let you finish that response. You know? No, I'm saying the people in the chat. I'll let the people in the chat finish that, that sentence. And it's like, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's not a racist comment. It's just, it is what it is. There's nothing wrong with it. It's how, why isn't racing, stock car racing, why isn't that a big thing in the West Coast or up north, but it's huge in the South? Don't know why. It just is. It's fine. I don't care. Why doesn't cricket draw well in the States, but it draws well in Europe? I don't know. It just is. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not disparaging anybody. I'm just pointing out that look at the numbers. That's what it is. Nothing wrong with it. People like what they like.
Yeah. So let's go back to the because you're right. We did skip over the fact that this year we do not have a captain. We have an alternate captain in Tyler Toffoli, who's going to wear the A every game, and then Macklin, Celebrini, and who else is wearing it at home? I have it.
Celebrini and Goodrow at home. Ferraro and Wenberg away. So Goodrow and Celebrini 41 games. Ferraro and Wenberg 41 games. But Toffoli all 82, but not a C.
But
what? The fuck?
Yeah,
why? Why not?
Because San Jose. That's why.
That is so stupid.
I know it's funny because like I'm not surprised by it at the same time, because like the Sharks always manage to do silly things like this when it comes to the captaincy. And
No,
I thought
that's
we were changing the vibes and changing the culture.
well, and the fact
And
that
then we just do the same shit.
you gave an A to Goodrow, a guy who didn't even want to be here. The guy didn't even want to be here, and let's be honest, the whole thing. Oh, you got to earn it. I'm sorry. I watched Goodrow play for the Sharks last year. I don't know that I saw a whole lot of earning it last year. I certainly haven't seen it 2 games in so far. And the fact, why do we need to have a team in San Jose that's going to hand out 5 letters? 3 is enough. 3 is fine. It could have easily been Toffoli C, and then you give Ferraro an A, and you give Celebrini an A.
Or Wenberg.
Because no, you give Celebrini an A because he is the heir apparent. So absolutely give him an A. And then Ferraro, longest tenured guy on the team right now. But Toffoli, clear leader, has the resume, has a cup. Give him has to tuck in the boys with the milk and cookies. You give him the C. And then the thing that really bakes my noodle on the whole thing, and it's like square this circle, is half the time you hear like, well, there's so much leadership in this room. Letters don't matter. Well, then why are you giving out fucking 5 of them?
Yeah.
They don't fucking matter. What are we doing?
Sleepy's saying they probably don't want to take the C from somebody, from someone not Celebrini next season when they finally give him the C. I could see that. There's a lot of things too, like whereas like,
stupid.
Maybe Toffoli said no because he didn't want to be the guy. Like
bullshit.
I just the headcanon's great. I think what I personally think is a crow got in Warsofsky's office and there was a C on the desk and the crow took it and flew away with it and he had nothing but A's left on his desk, so they had to make an announcement and that's what happened. I mean, it's just as plausible.
No, I to me, I'm just no. You like there shouldn't have even been a discussion or an argument about it. It's like no, Toff is getting the C, Celebrini gets an A, and like I said, I think most obvious, Ferraro gets the other one because longest tenured guy. He's worn a letter.
Yeah,
he's already had a history of wearing the letter. It's fine. Like I said, Goodrow didn't want to be here. Wenberg, let's be honest, is he going to be here after this season? Might be gone by the deadline. So like, why? But the fact to do this fucking like I can't wait. Was it Winnipeg or whatever that was chanting however many years ago, who's your captain or where's your captain, whatever. Like, come on. And it's just, I'm sorry. I find it super silly to have 2 guys wear for 41, 2 other guys wear for 41, 1 guy wears it for 82, but it's not a C.
Warsaw attacked by a duck. Yeah, that's what happened. I completely agree. And I again, it's just something like San Jose always seems to do when there's like any time to be. We can't just name a captain. We gotta jump through hoops and do this thing. And it annoys me because it's like, what was the thing when they came? We're gonna change the culture. We're gonna change the culture. But we're still doing the same fucking shit that we've been doing 10 years ago.
Yep. And again, the whole earn it thing. Number one, they got to earn it. They got to earn it. Why the fuck is Goodrow still playing and hasn't been scratched yet?
Well,
but if earn it is a whole thing, then Klingberg needs to be in the press box for Game 3. But again, earn it and blah blah blah. I'm sorry. I just you give Toffoli the motherfucking C. You just do. You let him drive the culture, set the tone for this season and the next 2. And during that time, Celebrini, leans on him a little and learns how to be the man.
Yeah.
Signs his fat ass extension when it's time. And when Toffoli is done and he's out, Here you go, good sir. Like you literally, we all know if you give Toffoli the C, we all know it's being handed off to Celebrini once Toffoli calls it a fucking career.
Yeah.
So what's the big fucking deal? It's not oh my God, will he hand it off to somebody else? No.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, for me, it's a case of like, if we're supposed to be changing things, why are we doing the same shit we've always
Hold
done?
on. Dude, Aaron Jackson in the chat. Toffoli is too old for the C. May I introduce you to Rob Blake?
Yes. Crafty saying, is the captaincy officially? Yes. Logan Couture is no longer playing, so he is no longer the captain.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was stripped much as
he said he was no longer playing because he didn't retire.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it was stripped. I would say it became available.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Certainly wasn't the whole, shit show that it was when Thornton fucking lost it. And from what I understand, when it came time to vote for a new captain, he still got more votes than anybody else, and Pavelski still got the C.
Correct.
So figure that.
Dalton earlier in the show asked, what did you think of the sleepover bobblehead and the Tyler
Fantastic
add-on?
Fantastic. Great way to try to get people in, if that's one of the ways to try to draw ticket sales and everything like that. Fantastic sleepover. The Toffoli ad, for those of you who don't know, they gave out a kind of if you want to call it a bobblehead, it's kind of weird, but the thing where it's Smith and Celebrini both laying in beds based on the whole thing from last year about the sleepover, and they got little bobbleheads. That was the giveaway, but you could go to the Sharks Foundation kiosk and for $35 get an add-on of Toffoli that would fit with it. And that night that was the giveaway and you had the $35 add-on, I saw it on eBay selling for $300.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So the giveaway and the $35 add-on. So, look, if it gets people in, absolutely. People, the new thing now is to sell scarcity. We're only going to make 100 of these, so buy them now for, buy this $20 item for $200, because there's only 100 of them. But it was, look, if it works, if it got people into the building and got people excited, and absolutely. I'm done with it personally. I went through my phase and now I'm done. You can see behind me, there's no more shark shit back there. This is different. But I love it. I thought it was when I saw the planned giveaway, I was like, fantastic idea. I get it. People are going to be psyched for this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I love it. I thought it was a great fucking marketing idea.
Yeah. All right. Let me just get a couple more comments here and then we'll tell us what's coming up and then we'll get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Ricky saying, would you guys be mad if they don't trade Wenberg? No, not at all. If they decide that to keep Wenberg around, I would not be upset by that at all.
To me, he has been a guy that I will say has quietly been a really good piece and a really good leader.
Yeah, like he's definitely he has been way more a part of the solution than part of the problem on this team.
In fact, Ian, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Does Wenberg play the game the right way?
Yes.
Okay.
Stevie Mose just saying Mark Giordano was 38 years old when he became named the Kraken's captain. Yeah, like veterans have to get to see all the time. Old veterans get to see all the time. And Sharks Last saying it was funny on opening night and they listed the scratches for the evening. Carey Price and Logan Couture for some. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, dude, I saw that and I was giggling, dude.
Like they definitely know.
Ruben, hold on, Ruben. So when is the tie-dye Sharks Chomp Teal hoodie going to be on the sales for? The tie-dye Sharks Chomp. That I don't know. I think maybe in a couple of weeks. But the bigger one to look out for is the tie-dye Teal Town hoodie.
Yeah.
That's going to be coming down the pipe. That's the one to look out for. We'll let you know when it happens.
Yeah, we will definitely let you know. So coming up on the schedule this week, Tuesday, they are hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. They will travel to Utah on Friday, and then they come back home on Saturday to face the Penguins. How many points are we expecting?
I mean, again, I was so pumped for these first two games. Like I think they very easily could have collected 4 points. I think they could be 2-0 at this point. Carolina, I think, is going to be
Carolina's going to be a problem.
Yeah, they could very well be a problem. That's going to be tough. Utah, going to Utah, playing in a new building. I don't know, or I should say a newly renovated building.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then what's the one after Utah?
The Pittsburgh Penguins,
which some are prognosticating as possibly the worst team this entire season. So I'm gonna say, you know what? I feel like I feel comfortable predicting 1-1-1.
Yeah, I give them 4 points.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a win, a loss, and an OT. Oh, you're going 4. I'm saying 3. Yeah, an overtime. Oh, well,
We only lose in overtime. So
you know what?
You know
what? No, I'm gonna go with you. 4 points. I'm gonna say a win, an overtime win, and a loss. I say lose to Carolina, and then after like 3 straight losses, then they're gonna be like, okay, fuck this noise, and then, and then they're gonna like whip some Utah ass that will go to overtime, and then they're just gonna beat the shit out of the Penguins. So correct me if I'm wrong. Erik Karlsson still a Penguin?
Yes.
Oh, Ryan Reeves, I will pay you $1,000 right now if you run that fucker into the glass.
He'll probably be playing. I'm going to win this bet so fucking handily.
What bet?
Ryan Reeves playing all the fucking games.
Oh, there's no way he plays it. I think I said that like the day he was signed by the Sharks. I was very much equating him to John Scott, who
that is not. We have this on video. That is not the way this went.
What are you talking about?
We set. There was like I believe we set the over under at 30 games, and I said way over, and you took the under.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I'm thinking about it now. I'm thinking like maybe 38, but I still think it's going to be less than half. I still think it'll be less than half.
He's going to play all the games.
Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. No way.
Sharks Lads, Ian, Sharks Pro Shop website, order your Barracuda decade jersey. Kevin Lacey has already made sure that I am hooked up. So we're good.
Oh, you know what, though? Ryan Reeves right now on pace to score 41 goals.
Yeah. How do you take him out?
Yeah. See? Just saying.
Yeah, the real bet is when is Musa's first game? Utah.
Well, I'm gonna say Carolina. I think it's the next game.
I'm gonna go Utah.
I think Utah is a good bet, but it is the one thing I will say is I don't think I would bet it right now. No way Musa plays more than 9 games this season. I think he's on the Eklund plan.
Just a few games and out of here.
Yep. Yeah, I would definitely think he's on the Eklund plan. I think Dickinson sticks around, but I think Musa's on the Eklund plan, sadly. Unless
it's fine.
Unless somebody like shits the bed, Goodrow, Ultra, but there's just so many fucking forwards up here. And so Kurashev, I will say, is the only one that I've really been kind of like, but I don't have any problem with Gaudette. I have no problem with Skinner's game through 2.
No. Yeah, good. So,
yeah, Kurashev is the only one I'm kind of like, maybe we could see something a little different up there.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So I mean that's and then for the Barracuda on Saturday they will play the Bakersfield Condors in Bakersfield. Again, another 1 game weekend. I don't know what's schedule. I don't know why people hate me so much.
Dude, I'm dying to see how Rem Pitlick responds to this game yesterday against the Condors. Like, is he going to be ass on fire yet again? Because I'm telling you, that dude had something to prove yesterday.
Yeah, sounds good. next week? Do we bring back stock up, stock down? I figured we wanted to get some games in before we really started.
It's on you, bro. You run
it's
this
on
shit
me.
now.
I get to make the decisions. You guys tell me in the comments. Do you want stock up, stock down to return? Now that we're gonna have some games under the belt,
I might not even be here next week. We don't know.
Shit. All right. Well, let me know if you want me to bring it back. But yeah, I mean, obviously, appreciate all you guys being here for the show. I hope you enjoyed it. And where's the graphic? Here it is. If you want to watch this again for whatever reason, you're here live, want to watch it again, you can always find this on our YouTube channel. If you want an audio version, you can find it on any podcasting platform. If you are looking for just a one-stop shop for everything, you can find that on tealtownusa.com. If you liked what you saw tonight, please leave us a like. If you thought we got something wrong or just want to give us some engagement, let us know in the comments. Stock up, stock down. Are we bringing it back? You tell me. Other than that, though, obviously, we appreciate you being here. We hope you are here next week when we do this again and we have another 4 games to talk about, and then who knows, maybe Hasso Plattner does another interview and gives us just more content. That's all we want. All we want, man.
Yeah, we don't want to wait every 5 years for that.
Yeah, like I just want Hasso Plattner content all the time. For me, for AJ, that's it from us. Thank you for watching Pucknologists. We will see you next Sunday.